This Coast to Coast Entertainment Network program is brought to you by Beside Me Bracelets. Our bracelets are handmade for any occasion. Use the promo code Coast to Coast for 15% off. Visit their website at besideme.com. Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry. With 24-hour shopping available, use the code 160920 and show her some love, like she showed us. Reaper Apparel Company, a commitment to live your most authentic way every single day. Visit reaperapparelco.com for more information and a look at all of their apparel offerings. And by Good Day Embroidery, your local source for custom embroidery, screen printing, and more. Log on to gooddayembroidery.com for more information.
Hello and welcome to another edition of C2C Rankem. I'm the host, Big B, along with my fellow co-host halfway around the world, the Prime Moose, Tim Hendricks. How you doing, buddy?
Doing good. It is. I'd like to say it is what it is, but we're in a transition period here in Italy. If anybody's watched the news, I think it's been pretty big news, pretty much all over the world. We all know that the Pope passed away the day after Easter. I get lucky enough to hear people screaming it in Italian out of buildings that the Pope has died, and that's a strange experience. It's one you kind of only hope that you only hear once in your lifetime. But if I plan on living here more often, for a long period of time, I'm gonna guess that's. But and it's weird because I watched the movie Conclave, which was up for an Oscar this year, back in January, not thinking that we're going to be looking at having a conclave later in the year, especially in April, well, May 7th technically, but it's definitely an interesting time living in a country which is basically started the Catholic religion, and you're basically in the heart of Catholic country.
So how is speaking of that? I mean, has life stopped, or is it still moving on, or what's it like over there now?
It's everything's moving on. Nothing closed, but then like I said, everything.
I think we just got Tim froze there, so give him a few seconds to come back on. Oh, there he is.
I hate my computer. I don't know what I got left off on, but he passed away on Pasquetta, which is technically Little Easter, which is technically for most Catholics would know would be Easter Monday. So basically everything was. Most people were already home anyway because of the holiday. The moment he passed away in Rome, now that's a whole nother story. Things started getting shut down, especially around the Catholic Church, around the Vatican, around Vatican City, the subways. So if you were on the subway, you basically were SOL for a period of time. They shut the subways down. Public transportation went to shit. It's a little bit of pandemonium because, again, it's not something anybody expected. We knew he wasn't well because he had been dealing with a lot of illness, but he had just gotten out of the hospital, I want to say 2 weeks before. But it's strange. It's strange. It's a strange thing, but if you want to know what's happening in the conclave, especially started with, like I said, May 7th, the movie Conclave is pretty between Conclave and Angels and Demons, the Dan Brown movie with Ewan McGregor. They pretty much, one's a little more glorified with Angels and Demons, but if you want to watch something that's what's going on in the conclave at this time, watch that movie. It gives you a lot more interesting and more understanding. For people who got a chance to watch our draft special last Thursday, now everybody watched it and saw that who I watched the draft noticed that they were they were doing the draft in Lambeau Field parking lot with about 200,000 people. The Vatican City in St. Peter's Square is maybe half to 3/4 that size. Now you're going to try to jam 300,000 people in the same spot, and that's going to be like that until they vote for a pope. So it's kind of it can be a little chaotic right now in such a small little country like the Vatican City.
Okay. All right. So yeah. So again, big news story. I mean, just kind of figure out, especially you not being raised there, what that was like. So, but anyway, so let's get into it. We got 3 actors, 3 actresses. Going to go over their top 5 movies. Again, these names, great names. I thought I've seen more movies out of all these people, and I haven't. So it'll be interesting to see where we sit at. So the first actress we'll take is the lovely Halle Berry. Her top 5 movies. I'm gonna start slow and go 2.
Okay, I two. Yeah, I could see a third one sneaking in there, but I'll give you 2.
All right. Well, you kick it off.
All right. Me being a DC comic guy, a Batman guy, did I just freeze or am I still good?
No, you're good.
Okay.
You froze for a second, but you're good.
Okay. Most people know me. I've got tattoos of Batman things, and I kind of I have this affinity for Batman. And when Halle Berry was given this role, I was thinking this was a terrible idea and really not that far off, to be honest. But I've seen a lot of her other things, and I still think Michelle Pfeiffer was the best of this character. But to have Halle Berry play opposite of Sharon Stone, I'm not a Sharon Stone fan, so Halle Berry looked like an Oscar award winner at this point compared to up against Sharon Stone. But this is the first time I think she was this character's ever done a standalone movie in Hollywood. But my number 5 is Catwoman.
All right. My number 5. I know I saw this movie when it came out because I think I was working at movie theater or like Hollywood Video, stuff like that, movie rental places, and we had to watch it. My number 5, I think her co-star, if I remember right, was Eddie Murphy. I'm going Boomerang.
Yeah, it was Eddie Murphy.
All right, your number 4.
My number 4. What can you say when you watch a collegiate football movie and you have to take out a scene because of stupid people and ignorance? And it's not even because of a character putting his head through a window. Because it's people trying to lay down in the middle of an interstate, and it's crazy. But I remember her being the person that was wanted to say she was either a junior or senior at Eastern Carolina or Eastern. I can't remember the name of the college, but I know they were the Eagles. And she was the one showing Omar Epps around the university.
Yep.
And then they have this whole passion thing. I love the movie. I absolutely love this movie. To me, it proved that when James Caan went from playing Brian Piccolo and Brian's song to playing the head coach of this college team, I think football was in James Caan's blood. My number 4 is The Program.
That's a good movie. Yeah, like you said, take out one scene of it because people are acting stupid. My number 4 movie, I thought I've seen, like I said, I've seen a lot of Halle Berry movies. I must have missed this one, but I know a lot of people have seen it, once I saw the name of it. Saw good ratings on Rotten Tomatoes. My number 4 is Die Another Day.
You didn't see that Bond movie?
I don't think I have.
It's one of the Brosnans. It's one of the Brosnans where it takes place where they in an ice hotel.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's also the one that brought back Ursula Andress's swimsuit from Dr. No, I want to say.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I think I might have now that you said that swimsuit, I think I did see that one. Yeah. You're number 3.
My number 3, I love this movie, and it's not because we get to see Halle Berry's breasticles. But I loved it because I think it was ahead of the time because it was really hilarious. I actually had for a brief period of my life, I had the hair of John Travolta in this movie, the long hair down to my shoulders, that stupid single line goatee that he had. I didn't try to smoke like him because it just looked stupid. But him to play opposite of Hugh Jackman who is a hacker and does all these different other things. I love the movie. It doesn't get. I don't think it gets enough. I don't think it gets enough praise for what it was. It's a fun movie. It's literally a fun movie. My number 3 is Swordfish.
Oh, okay. Number 3 for me, I know I have not seen this one and I should, but I've heard she plays her role really well in this. I think I've seen clips of it, but my number 3 is Monster Ball.
See, okay, you're good. You're good. It's what I have. It's just for some reason I put Monster down, and I'm like, why is that? That's not right. I know that's not right. Because Monster was Charlize Theron, and
yeah,
but
you're number 2.
This should tell you what my number 2 is at this point. It's not C2C unless you're sniping. Yeah, that's my number 2 is your number 3. That scene between Billy Bob Thornton and Halle Berry, yeah, that's some brutal stuff. You got it, and the other thing is you've got a young Heath Ledger early in the movie. Yeah, it's a good movie, and you can understand why Halle Berry wins the Oscar. It's something else.
Yeah. Well, we'll keep the theme of the phrase that pays. It's not C2C unless you're sniping. You got me at number 5. I got Catwoman at number 2.
Wow. Okay. So I'm.
All right, you're
I'm
number
curious,
1.
I'm curious at your number 1. My number 1 for anybody who's a Marvel fan will find out that she is not coming back for Doomsday. So that's a little disappointing for all you X-Men fans. I have one question for her. I want to know where much like Kofi Kingston, where did her Jamaican accent go? Her East African, West African accent, because Kofi loses his too, and somehow Storm loses hers between 1 and 2. But she's not coming back. It's a little disappointing. She's not coming back for Avengers Doomsday, which comes out next year. They're officially, they're officially started filming yesterday. But my number 1 is the X-Men series.
Yeah, I saw that. No, my number 1 is your number 5, the phrase that pays. I love the program. So yeah, you're number 4. Yep. So, but no, I love the program. Like you said, you take out one scene that I actually saw the unedited version, so I saw the
So
scene.
did I.
So, yeah,
I saw it at the theater the week before they took it
it's
out.
one of those things where, I mean, I guess it was kind of stupid for them to put the clip in there, but then go out and act it out in real life was really,
Stupid.
All right, so we got 2, so let's move on to Brad Pitt. We
Oh.
go from one sexy lady to every
Another sexy
lady's
lady.
fantasy, I think, in Brad Pitt.
You go from one sexy lady to another sexy lady.
Yeah, pretty much. Again, another guy I thought I saw a lot of his movies.
I saw way too many.
Yeah. I'm gonna go 3. I'm gonna go 3.
1, 2, 3. Yeah, I'll give you. I could see 4. I can really see 4. To be honest, I can really see 4. Yeah, I'll go 4. I'm a gambling man.
All right. Well, I'll go with number 5, which I know I've seen clips, but I think everybody, you always talk about the movie and you always talk about the rules, and there's only one rule in this movie, and you don't talk about it. I got number 5, Fight Club.
We don't talk about it.
Exactly.
We don't talk about Fight Club.
Your number 5.
My number 5, I think, is probably, to me, is an amazing ensemble cast series. I like the premise. I originally saw the first one with the Rat Pack with Peter Lorre and Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin. I loved it, and I don't understand why they changed the ending, but I understood the ending a lot better from the first one, the original. But I kind of sucks that they're not doing a 14, as it would be called. I think it's a great cast: Matt Damon, Brad Pitt, George Clooney, Julia Roberts, Catherine Zeta-Jones, Andy Garcia. The name's just James Caan's kid, freaking, I can't remember. Scott Caan is in that one, in that series. I love it, and especially when they go at the end where they go through how they did everything. To me, it's I could sit and watch that series over and over and over again. My number 5 is the Ocean series.
All right, my number 4, again, another movie I know I've seen, due to the jobs I've had to have to watch this when it came out. My number 4 is Interview with the Vampire.
Okay.
Your number 4.
My number 4, I know I saw at the theater. I have the metal case box set for this movie. Do you know they changed you know how sucky this is? Because how bad I know movies is that in the theater version, they had one theme song, they had one opening title song, and when they put it on DVD, they changed it. I can remember it. I can't remember if you were with me when my brother. No, you were in Minnesota when I took Ryan and his friends and saw 4 movies the day before he left for basic training.
Okay.
And this is one of the movies. So yeah, it's got a nice little spot in my heart. Morgan Freeman, Gwyneth Paltrow, Kevin Spacey. What can you say? This is probably higher on a lot of people's lists, but do you know the movie by my one line, and you only need one line to really tell you the name of the movie? When you hear Brad Pitt telling Morgan Freeman what's in the box, you just kind of just know exactly. You knew exactly what it was when it came about, but you just hear the agony and the pain and in his voice. It's an amazing. I'm surprised there weren't more, if any awards for that movie. My number 4 is 7.
All right. My number 3. Yeah, I did see the movie, but read up on it a little bit. A lot of people liked it. A lot of the reviews. My number 3 is Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
I saw the movie.
I'm
one of the minority that really didn't like the movie.
Okay.
But
all right, your number 3.
My number 3, it was I think it was one of those movies that took the world by storm. I think it originally starts and find out that it actually takes place in New Orleans at the beginning during Katrina. But this is one of those tall tale stories about a person who ages backwards and that deals with his life as it's going on. I believe Brad Pitt wins the Oscar for this movie. I know I know the movie won the Oscar. This to me is, I don't know. This is almost like, to go through what he did is almost like a double-edged sword. Do you want to be old and get and grow younger as you get older, or do you want to be the guy who ages properly and hope everything goes right? My number 3 is The Curious Case of Benjamin Button.
Yeah, I think you won for that one. My number, where are we at? Number 2. Your number 5. Let's play it. C2C, snipe them again. The phrase that pays. I got the Ocean 11 series. I mean, that, like you said, I mean, the stunning cast that they have, but just, how they, do their thing. I enjoy the movies. So, your number 2.
My number 2, well, go ahead. It's the phrase that pays. It's not C2C unless we're sniping. My number 2 is your number 4, The Interview with a Vampire. Again, we're talking superstar casts.
Yeah.
Again, you got Kirsten Dunst in her first movie, who gets her first kiss from Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt's in this movie. Tom Cruise, Antonio Banderas. It's Christian Slater plays the interviewer. It's just amazing to watch. It's a great a great movie. I'm actually friends with her son, the Anne Rice's son, on Facebook. I remember the day that Anne Rice had passed away. But yeah, it's crazy. No, they didn't win. They Brad Pitt didn't win for.
Yeah, I was just looking at that too.
Yeah, that sucks.
All right, my number 1. Just because I love this sport and just because I really want to be in the room, fly on the wall when days like this come, or decisions have to be made in the sports world, like the draft. Trying to build a team in baseball when you're looking at free agents and stuff like that, or basketball. I really want to be the fly in the room, but I like this movie, and that's Moneyball. Your number 1.
My number 1, well, it's C2. It's not C2C. It's not Rankem. If we're not sniping, if we're not doing what we're doing, my number 1 is your number 5. Again, we don't talk about it.
We don't talk about it. You're right. All right. We got 3. All right. So let's go into my favorite actress of all time that I tried to kill off, I think, how many times? Let's go into Susan Sarandon.
Suzanne Summers.
Yeah.
God, how many times you try to kill this poor woman? That was the reason. Be honest, that was the reason why I put it on this list. I wanted to see if you put actually Suzanne Summers movies on here instead of Susan.
Yeah. So, I'm going to stick with 3. I think 3 is a good number.
I think 3 is a great number.
So go ahead and kick her off.
Maybe to see what my number 5 was. My number 5, I've seen this movie a couple of times. If people know who I am, they know I'm a big Jack Black fan. He's in this movie very, very briefly. He plays the brother of a death row inmate, being ready to be sentenced to death. And Susan Sarandon plays, I want to say she plays a nun who gives counseling to Sean Penn's character during the movie before he takes the, as we say, the long walk down the Green Mile. It's a powerful, powerful movie. Again, I'm not going to give people Oscars that they didn't have, so I'm not going to. But I believe Sean. I'm going to do it anyway. Watch, I'm going to do it anyway. I believe Sean Penn wins the Oscar for this movie, and rightfully so. I think he was amazing in this movie. They were both amazing. Don't get me started. It was shocking because I was watching the movie and all of a sudden Jack Black shows up and I'm like, are you kidding me? And I'm like, I didn't even know that. And I'm pretty good at knowing Jack Black's movies, and all of a sudden he sneaks up on me somewhere. It's like I didn't know Mars Attacks had Jack Black in it for a brief second either. But no, Sean Penn didn't win, but Suzanne Summers here did. My number 5. This is going to get back to Susan Sarandon, and somehow we're going to get killed. My number 5 is Dead Man Walking.
Okay. All right. So my number 5, she co-stars with Julia Roberts in this one. I know I've seen this. Like I said, it's been years. And my number 5 is Stepmom.
I saw that one. I've never seen that one. I'm going to be completely honest. I've never seen it. I saw it, and it's weird because I look up Julia Roberts stuff left, right, and center, and with the wife being a Julia Roberts fan, I might be watching it.
All right.
My number 4, think was a book written by. I've seen the movies. The weirdest thing is, it's about a boy who witnesses someone being murdered, and Susan Sarandon plays the lawyer of the boy. But she's playing opposite Tommy Lee Jones, and I had to look it up because I didn't realize that she was also nominated for an Oscar in this movie too. I've seen this movie so many bloody times. I should have it almost. I'm almost like Lion King and Lord of the Rings, Two Towers with this movie because I could almost quote it. I absolutely love this movie. My number 4 is The Client.
Okay. My number 4, she co-stars with Goldie Hawn in the movie, and again, another movie I know I saw when it first came out because, of course, like them both, the Banger Sisters.
No, I have no clue. Never.
You're number 3.
My number 3, basically is a cult classic. If you were to go to Milwaukee, and people who know exactly where I'm headed with this knows exactly which theater you need to go to in Milwaukee at midnight on Halloween, and they show a midnight showing, is absolute. I had the DVD to this where they actually have a soundtrack where they recorded the movie where they do where this is a movie that has audience participation in it, and I have a DVD where they actually recorded the audience participation that you can play right along with the movie at the same time. What can you say? This is the movie that really got me into liking musicals and watching different types of movies. It gave us Tim Curry as Dr. Frankenfurter. Gave us Meatloaf in his first role in movies. But it gave us what most people don't remember is Susan Sarandon. 1975, the year I came about. I recommend people just watching it. It's just a fun movie. My number 3 is the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Okay. All right. Well, my number 3, when you started talking about Milwaukee, I was like, oh, maybe he's going this route. Because I believe the TV show, I think, was based out of there. I could be wrong on that. But this also stars Gina Davis, another actress I like. My number 3 is Thelma and Louise.
There was no TV show for that one.
Ain't there? Oh no, I'm thinking of
Laverne and Shirley.
Laverne and Shirley. You're right.
Which, if you think about it, Brad Pitt's first movie was Thelma and Louise.
Yeah. Ties them in. All right, you're number 2.
My number 2. Well, this is probably your number 1. When this was like the first and second. This was technically the second or third movie I thought of when I put Susan Sarandon's name down as a list. It's one of those, it's one of those quintessential baseball movies, which is funny because if you know anything about the movie, the guy who plays first base was a Chicago Cub by the name of Bull Durham. I think his name was Bull Durham. I know if I'm not mistaken, which I thought it was Ray Durham, played first base for the Cubs, and they called him Bull Durham because of the movie, because he was in the movie. But Kevin Costner, she meets her husband. I don't know if they're really married, but she meets Tim Robbins during this period of time. She's the one that makes Tim Robbins in the movie wear women's underwear because she thought it would help. My number 2 is Bull Durham.
All right. Well, my number 2 is your number 2, Bull Durham. You got some great lines in there. Great nickname for the pitcher. Kevin Costner calls him Meat. As a matter of fact, I just watched For the Love of the Game. Kevin Costner is Mr. Baseball, I think. I think he's got 4 or 5 baseball movies out there.
I know he's got For the Love of the Game. He's got Bull Durham. What else does he have?
Field of Dreams. That might just be 3. That might just be 3. But all right, you're number 1.
My number 1. Well, it's not C2C unless you're sniping. My number 1 is your number 3. This was the first movie I thought of when I thought of Susan Summers. I just couldn't help myself, and I'm realizing I'm going through this, and I'm going, wow, this person was in this movie with this person. This movie was in this person with this movie. I'm like, I accidentally linked everybody I could in this movie.
All right, my number 1 is a more recent one. I know she's not in it long, but the movie itself is funny, and the backstory, if you got that, for guys or boys at least at the middle school age, you always fantasize about teachers and stuff. So my number 1, it's not a snipe. I'm sorry. My number 1 is That's My Boy.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
I saw that one too, and I'm like, oh, why can I
that's a funny movie. It's got Vanilla Ice in there. It's got I can't think of the guy from Different Strokes.
It's got Todd Bridges.
Willis. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got Todd Bridges in it.
Yeah. So, all right. So we got 2. Let's move over to Keanu Reeves. I'm going to go bold here. I'm going to say 5, but I know we're not going to get. I'll go 4. I'll go 4.
I'll give you. I think we could possibly pull 5.
I think we could too.
I don't think we're going to do an immaculate, but I think we could pull 5.
No, we've only done that once.
Yeah, once, and that was by accident. Because all the immaculates are always by accident.
Yeah.
I'll give you. No, I like 5. I think I'm going to stick with 5.
I like 5 too, but yeah. Well, I get to start it, so we'll see if we wreck it. My number 5 is it's a movie genre that I don't really watch. I know I watched the first one for sure. The second one I think I got bored with, so I stopped watching it. It's one of those, I guess inner mind where I don't even know how to explain it, but I got number 5 as The Matrix.
We're okay so far. My number 5. This could have been easily put on Gene Hackman's list. I This is. I think we did a show, an episode where we would put, if we could put fantasy teams, movie teams from movies against teams that are in real life, and we brought this one up, and I really thought when I put Keanu Reeves on here, I could go 900 miles. I'm starting to think we're not getting 5 though. I really have this feeling, and I think it's my number 4 that's going to screw it up. Yeah, this one's just fun. And the funny thing is, Keanu Reeves in this movie kind of reminds me of Brett Favre. I don't know what it is. It's just, it. And then you see people like Jon Favreau in there, who becomes this big, huge director. And I absolutely, this is just a fun movie. It's a movie that doesn't take itself seriously, which makes it even better. My number 5 is The Replacements.
All right. Well, my number 4 here, another sports movie he did. And I can't remember how he got hooked up with the Little League team, but he takes like an interleague, a Little League baseball team and tries to turn them into something good. My number 5 is Hardball.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, I completely blew that one. I blew the bunny on that one. Yeah, that's
your number 4.
My number 4 is a small FBI movie about a former football player of Ohio State named Johnny Utah. They made a sequel, and I think that movie absolutely sucks. I think they made a remake, and I think Keanu Reeves and Patrick Swayze are brilliant against each other on this. It's another one of those. I can't get my wife to watch it. She loves Keanu Reeves, but she's not a Patrick Swayze fan. That's what I don't know. I've tried to understand it myself. But my number 4 is Point Break. My number 4 is the one who killed us, right?
Well, I actually killed that Hardball.
Yeah, you did.
Don't have it. Yeah, Point Blank I don't have. But my number 3 is your number 5. Replacements. What could you say? With Gene Hackman's character, Keanu Reeves' character. Yeah, I get your feeling. Now what? Thinking about the movie in my head. The Brett Favre kind of, aspect of it. But yeah. All right, you're number 2.
My number 3.
Sorry. Yeah.
That's all right. My number 3. I think it's a movie that, I don't think needed a third one. I think the first 2 were great. I think the first 2 were just fine. I honestly, and this is going to be this is how sheltered a life that I lived. When I first saw the movie, I didn't understand the meaning of the number 69 until after this movie came out. Now I know and can't get it out of my head for some reason. But I love this. I love this movie. This is one where I first saw Keanu Reeves. I love it. My number 3 is the Bill and Ted series.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I killed it there too. Sweet.
All right, my number 2 is a movie I know we brought up a few times before. I'm just now blanking on the woman that's in this movie. But it's it's on a bus pretty much the whole movie. So my number 2 is Speed.
That was the one Sandra Bullock, but that was the one I'm going. I forgot, and I literally looked at Point Break, and I'm going, he went Speed. He went Speed somewhere in there, and I'm so screwed. I forgot about him. I'm going, if I'm going to do perfect, if I'm going to do sniping, I got to have Speed on here. And I'm looking at Point Break going, not going to happen.
You're number 2. My
number 2, I am going to be honest. When I first saw this movie of a 4-movie series, and they're doing a 5th one, and they just did an offshoot series, a movie out of this series. I saw this movie the first time, and I thought it was terrible. Absolutely thought it was terrible. And my brother watched it, and he says, "Have you watched this movie? Have you seen the first movie?" I'm like, "Yeah, I thought it sucked." He's like, "Watch it again." I'm like, This isn't first. I'm like, first of all, I have this rule of thumb. If you watch a TV show, if you start watching a TV show, if you don't like it after the first 3 episodes, you're never going to like it. I watched it twice and I went, I can understand it. But I didn't like it as much as he did. And then 3 came out and I'm like, 2 came out and I was like, I was blown away. 3 I came out, I was like, yeah, I'm watching this until the end of it. The 4th one came out, and the 4th one came out at the time that M and Elise had gone to Paris and they did the movie in Paris. And I'm like, what the hell? And now they did one that's now called Ballerina. To me, I just didn't believe the first movie because of all the movement. I didn't like it because it just didn't seem realistic. And then I watched it again. My brother's just like, don't think of it being realistic. Just think of it as like a video game. And I'm like, okay. And I got through it. But then I thought of everything else. And the funny thing is, Halle Berry's in the 3rd one. Like I said, somehow they all link somewhere. But my number 2 is the John Wick series.
I saw it. Did see the series. Again, not my genre. But we'll go to the phrase that pays. I got Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. I just want the first one. The other one could go away, but Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure was really good. So something that, you sit back on, could I go back in time? Stuff like that. But then to actually do it for a homework assignment was just mind-boggling. So
I'm gonna make you a very happy person because for some reason, since we've come back, you've decided to snipe me. So my number 1 is going to be the phrase that pays. It's not snipes. It's not C2C unless we're sniping. My number 1 is your number 5.
Oh, yep. I figured you had it on there.
They could have done without doing the last one, but
Yeah.
I thought it was a good series.
Yeah. No. All right. So we got 3. Let's move over to Angelina Jolie. Here's what, when you set this out, I'm like, oh, I know most of her movies. Man, I don't think I've seen a lot of them. So I was like thrown off when I started looking at them, and so.
Well, you had her. You kind of had an Angelina Jolie movie with Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Yep. But I thought I'd seen more, and yeah, for sure I haven't. So
sure you didn't. Yeah.
All right. I'm going to go back to 2.
2, because I thought we were easy getting 5 that last one, and all of a sudden we got 2. We got 3. And I was like, okay, wasn't expecting that.
All right.
All right, my number 5. I don't think I didn't have this one on the Denzel Washington one where he plays a what was it? He was a criminologist he had a debilitating disease, but I think I want to say this is a John Grisham book. I'm not going to look it up right now. I have John Grisham books, but I don't need to be looking. I love detective movies. I love detective episodes, series, things of that nature, where they're looking for a serial killer who just collects certain bones from different people as he's killing them. My wife will never watch this because she hates Angelina Jolie. I've tried to get her to watch this movie, and I'm never going to get it to happen. We're not watching. I'm glad I've watched every single one of these movies before now. My number 5 is The Bone Collector.
I should have that one on there. I didn't see it, but I heard it was good. My number 5, again, a movie I saw a while back. It's Nicolas Cage is in it. My number 5 is Gone in 60 Seconds.
This is the one I like. I like the original more than I like I like the remake more than I like the original. But
all right, you're number 4.
My number 4, holy smokes. I've never seen Morgan Freeman play a character like I've seen in this movie. And it's James McAvoy starring as this guy who becomes an assassin because he's looking for his father, and his father's an assassin. and Angelina Jolie is one of those assassins that helped train him to become who he is. And it's got one of these stunt scenes that I'm still trying to figure out if it's CGI or how they did it. Is where where he's standing up and he's standing in the middle of the road and she's driving around and she does this donut. And when she got the donut, and when it gets the donut, goes through the donut, she sits him in the car and takes off. I'm still trying to figure out how they did this stunt. I'm hoping it's not CGI at this point, but I love it. And I've never heard Morgan Freeman say "mf'er" in my entire life, and then I watched it in this movie, and I went, "This movie's in my top 100 until the day I die." My number 4 is Wanted.
Okay. My number 4, we're gonna go animated. Got a couple of them on here. My number 4 is Shark Tale.
You went the other way. Jack Black movie.
Yep.
Well,
all right, you're number 3.
My number 3 is, it's not C2C unless you're sniping. My number 3 is your number 5. Gone in 60 seconds.
All right. My number 3 is a video game turned movie. I think it was one of her first. I could be wrong on that, but my number 3 is Tomb Raider.
Well, you decided to snipe me. You decided to throw an animated movie in front of me. Well, I'm going to snipe you right here. Jack Black movie, mind you. She's done animated movies with Jack Black, 2 different animated movies with Jack Black. You said the other one. You said Shark Tales, which is a Jack Black animated movie. But I still think this is the best Jack Black movie series to date. And to get Angelina Jolie as a tiger in this movie, in this series, is absolutely brilliant. You got Jackie Chan. You've got Seth Rogen. To me, Dustin Hoffman plays my little panda. Yeah. I'm all in. I was all in the moment they said Jack Black is going to play a panda. I was in. My number 2 is the whole entire Kung Fu Panda series.
The whole entire
series.
Yeah. My number 2. Well, I had this movie on another list that you brought up. Have it on this one. Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Your number 1.
My number 1, well, it's not C2C unless we're sniping for some reason. It's not. April is not my month. My number 1 is your number 3, the Tomb Raider series.
Well, let's go back to sniping again. My number 1 is your number 3, Kung Fu Panda for sure. Number 2. Number 2.
That was one of those when I put Angelina Jolie on the list. I'm going, yeah, and everybody knows I'm a Jack Black guy. Jack Black may be coming soon. I don't know.
Jack Black. Well, he's got that new movie out, Minecraft. My son,
yeah, that's not a popular movie in my house right now. I'm gonna watch it because I met 2 people that were in that movie, so I'm good. I will watch it.
All right, well, let's go into our last one before we get to our blind 5. Patrick Swayze. So,
yeah, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 3.
I gotta go 5. I gotta go 5 on this one.
Oh,
4 guarantees.
Last time, the top 3 should be guaranteed.
Top 3 should be guaranteed. Yep.
I don't know in what order, but I know top 3 should be guaranteed.
Yeah. I think it's going to all determine here on number 5. I think
it depends on. Yeah. I'm saying 3 just to be safe because Keanu Reeves I was a little more confident on, but
yeah. Well,
I think the most we're getting 4 because I
think 4 is going to be 4 is a good one, but 5 my 5 right here is going to be what's going to take it away because we've brought this movie up a few different times. Yeah.
No.
Of course, it's got Patrick Swayze in there. It's got Wesley Snipes, and it's got I can't think of the third guy now.
John Leguizamo.
Yes.
I don't have it. I'll tell you right now, I don't have it. I don't have it.
My number 5 is Tu Wong Fu. You get Patrick Swayze and Wesley Snipes to play drag queens in this one.
No, I get it.
I would love to see how that negotiation went.
And not with Patrick Swayze, but with Wesley Snipes.
Both of them.
No, I can understand Patrick. I'm not insinuating anything with Patrick Swayze, but I think Patrick Swayze is a little more confident and not worried about what people think if he's like that. Wesley Snipes, on the other hand, might have a problem with it. So I'm guessing that sometime in the near future we're doing Jack Black and Wesley Snipes. Okay, good to know. My number 5. This I knew when you said we've talked about this before. I'm going no. The only other one I can think of we've ever talked before was Black Dog, and I'm looking at it going no. I think you brought it up by accident this movie up by accident one time, because I think we were talking about, who were we talking about? Tom Cruise? No, not Tom Cruise. It was somebody else. But they remade this movie, which is funny because the Patrick Swayze movie character in this movie was replaced by, I want to say, Chris Hemsworth in the remake. And to be honest, I think both did a great job. A movie that got a sequel. I've watched this movie a total of once, and you're gonna go and you put Tu Wong Fu on number 6. This is the thing is it's I think it's Ralph Macchio. It's Ralph Macchio. Patrick. I almost said Patrick Stewart. That'd have been wrong. Patrick Swayze.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
And it's not The Outsiders either. I thought of that too. I thought about it like 2 seconds after you said it. I know which one you're talking about. It's about. I want to say it's about Russia invading the United States, because I know the remake was when China invades the United States. No, it was C. Thomas Howell. C. Thomas Howell, Leah Thompson, Charlie Sheen, Patrick Swayze, Jennifer Grey. Wow, that's. I'm going to tell you right now, that's the second time on this list that Jennifer Grey in a movie with Patrick Swayze will come back up. But my number 5, and the funny thing is the sequel to this movie is the name they called because it was the mascot of the high school that the kids went to. That was the only reason why you knew who it was. And the sequel to this movie is Wolverine. My number 5 is Red Dawn.
Oh, I forgot about that one.
This is why I know I think 4 was probably good, but 3 is probably more likely going to happen.
Yeah. Well, because I don't think you have my number 4 on there, because you kind of made a comment, but my number 4 is a trucker movie, which I believe I believe Patrick Swayze goes looking for his family that somehow disappears, but nobody remembers who they are. It's got Meatloaf in it, and it's got Randy Travis in it.
Yep.
And it's Black Dog.
Black Dog. Yeah, I kind of spoiled that one for you. Well, my number 4. Might as well get the rest of this. Get the rest of this out of the way. I have on another list, on today's list, and I absolutely, again, if I got it on 2 lists because of the actors, it's there's a reason for it. My number 4 is because of Johnny Utah himself, and the presidents, the dead presidents that decided to rob banks. My number 4 is Point Break. I had to put it at number 4 because I had number 4 with Keanu Reeves, but my number 3, my top 3, we're probably interchangeable here. But
oh yeah, that's what it's gonna be. My number 3 is, I don't know, probably in most people's eyes, probably top 5 romantic movies, even though the gentleman, Patrick Swayze character, dies in it. I think a lot of people, I know for a fact, everybody will know pottery scene where they're making a clay pottery. Whoopi Goldberg's in it. My number 3 is Ghost.
Well, that's not my number 3.
All right.
My number 3 is tends to be a running joke on Family Guy. And for people who know me, I didn't work security in bars because of this movie.
Oh.
They all make the joke, oh yeah, you got this thing that you want to be a bouncer because of this movie because you think you're Dalton. I'm like, no, I needed the job. But the funny thing is, I love it when Peter Griffin says it all the stinking time. It's like he kicks people in the head and then out of nowhere, Roadhouse. And I just can't. And I love them. I love the movie. And that's the only movie that the female lead has never done a movie after that, if I'm not mistaken.
The nurse?
I'm guessing. It's also, I think you get Jeff Healey from the Jeff Healey Band as the guy who says that's Dalton, who ended up becoming a big star briefly in the 90s. Yeah. And then you had I'm not going to
Sam Elliott in it.
Sam Elliott, Terry Funk. Terry Funk is in that movie. But I think her name's Kelly. I can't remember what her name.
Kelly Lynn. Yep.
Kelly Lynch. And I don't think she's ever done a movie after that, or she just disappeared off the face of the planet. I've never seen anything after that.
Oh, let's see.
But you're looking at the IMDb. It may not be the IMDb.com page. We need to get IMDb to sponsor our show.
Oh yeah, she's been in other movies.
Actually, I've never seen them. But my number 3, what can I say? I've said it, but Peter's already said Roadhouse.
My number 2 is my wife's favorite movie.
Nope.
And again, it's one of those movies where if you probably say Patrick Swayze, he appears. No, I'm just kidding. This is probably everybody's number 1 movie.
Joe Hendry.
My number 2 movie is Dirty Dancing.
That's my mom's favorite movie.
Yeah. Your number 2.
My number 2, this is not C2C unless we're sniping. My number 2, is your number 3, Ghost.
All right. Well, my number 1 is your number 3. I got Roadhouse in there. So Kelly Lynch has been in Cocktails, Mr. Magoo, Charlie's Angels, Curly Sue, Joe Somebody. I'm trying to see the other ones I know.
Was that after Roadhouse?
Roadhouse was in 89. Oh yeah, all these. Well, Cocktail was first. So Cocktail was in 88. Curly Sue in 91. Mr. Magoo in 97. Charlie's Angels in 2000.
She wasn't
Joe Somebody in 2001.
The sad thing is I saw Charlie's Angels.
Let's see here. And I think that's about it that she's been in. But yeah.
Yeah, I forgot she was in Charlie's Angels. Now that you say it, and I saw Charlie's Angels.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead and put up our little flashy sign that we had specifically made for this show. It's not C2C unless we're sniping. My number 1 is your number 2. Dirty Dancing. My mom would disown me if I didn't put Dirty Dancing at number 1. I'm sorry, I'm a Roadhouse guy. My mom loves Patrick Swayze.
Oh yeah.
My mom had a choice. Patrick Swayze would have been my dad. It's so crazy, but yeah. And
the thing is it's just one of those, Patrick Swayze, the what ifs. What if he was still alive? What if he was on Dancing with the Stars? How good? I mean, because we all know he was a dancer.
Oh yeah,
he was a ballerina. So that would have been something would have loved to see him on it, and for Gray to be on that show and to win that show. As a matter of fact, that was the year me and my wife met. We would talk about that show over phone calls, Dance with the Stars, that series. And she called me. She called me like minutes later after she won that to talk about it.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's all right. My wife and I talked about Walking Dead. Don't worry.
Yeah.
So,
All right. So our blind five. So, Tim, I'll let you go with yours. I love this category, or I love this one because we don't know what the categories are. We always kind of try to flip it around and really make us look foolish on here. So,
yep. Awesome. Now, I learned starting doing this show that you listen to country music.
okay.
That you're a fan of country music, and which is something I really didn't know that much about. And yes, we've known each other for what, going on
A long time.
30
years,
31 years,
95, 94,
31 years, yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
So I didn't know that because you played 90s stuff. I'm
Yep.
gonna be kind to what the 90s stuff was, but even if now I'm going to give you this, even if you've seen them, I still want you to rank them.
Okay.
But these are going to be country artists that you want to see live, and the artist is either live or dead.
Okay. Gotcha.
So, the first one, Dolly Parton.
Number one. that honestly, me and my wife talk about this all the time. Like right now, if she can tell, like Dolly Parton's like the for sure thing. If she comes to town, I'm going to.
Okay, I can just close the rest of this. At this point, I'm going to close the rest of this list. Well, since Dolly Parton, I almost had a chance. Here's the sad thing: is I almost had the opportunity to see the next person I'm going to say on the list, and he had a special guest. And well, guess who the special guest was? My next one is Kenny Rogers.
Saw Kenny Rogers a few years ago. I'm going to say number 3. I wish I would have saw him about 7 years prior to when I saw him. Saw him at Turtle Lake. He barely could move. He was coming off surgery. So glad I got to see him, but yeah, it was tough to watch.
He was at the UP State Fair in like 2002.
Okay.
And he was the headliner because UP State Fair has a country night, and he was doing Kenny Rogers and special guest.
Yep.
No, I'm not going to go. I should go, but the tickets are going to be expensive. But he's going to have a special guest, Tim. No, I think I'll miss it this time. Special guest was Dolly Parton. Not thrilled. Not even remotely close to being thrilled.
Yeah.
The next one is going to be Alabama.
Alabama. Oh God, who else?
My brother used to live next to Randy Owens.
Yeah, I gotta go Alabama number 2. I'd like to see. They got some good songs I like.
Yeah, me too. All right, bud. I'm about to break your heart now. This is where death and destruction comes in. So anybody who can get in contact with these next 2 people, please let them know. The next one is Tim McGraw.
I know my wife's not a big fan of his, so it would be one of those where it would have to be like Tim McGraw's last tour, because we're not going to U.S. Bank or Target Field to see him. It would have to be like a TI or something. I'm going to go number 5 with Tim McGraw.
All right. So what do you got left? Just out of curiosity. Yeah. So Reba McEntire is now going to be number 4.
Yeah, I've seen her twice.
But you said you can't see her again.
Yeah, no, I mean, no, she's just, that's the first time, too, when we first saw her. It was the first time that I was at the Minnesota State Fair from doors open to door closed. All days spending there to get through the state fair. And then I saw her. I stood probably a good 10 feet away from her when she was at Treasure Island.
Jeez. Well, I can't argue that. That was like when I saw, what was it? I saw Weird Al. Weird Al was 10 feet away. He actually gave the scarf to a girl who was sitting next to me. I didn't know who that girl was. So
a little breaking news here from the NFL draft. NFL is fining the Atlanta Falcons $250,000 and defensive coordinator $1,000 or $100,000 over Albright's son making a prank phone call to Shadir Sanders. So they're finding Falcons $250K and the defense coordinator $100K.
Holy
Yeah.
wow.
Kind of shocking. I didn't think they'd do anything.
I would take it out of that kid's hide.
Yep. All right. So my blind five for you, since we're talking about the draft, I just got done with the draft. I got the top 5, and I'll tell you right now, Shadir Sanders falling to 5th round is not part of this, but this is kind of what made me think of it. Top 5 shocking moves to come out of moments. I'll say moments because the one's not a move, but top 5 shocking moments in the NFL draft history.
Yeah, history. Okay, go.
Yep. No, or I was going to say my number.
Number 1.
The first one in 1999, the Philadelphia Eagles fans booed the picking of Donovan McNabb.
That doesn't shock me. So I would say that's 5 because Philadelphia booed. Bill, if you think about this is a fan base that threw batteries at Santa Claus in the 70s.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not. Yep. 5.
2000, the Oakland Raiders or LA Raiders, whoever they were at the time, picked Janikowski as the 17th overall pick.
I think that's 3 because who's taking him? You also got to remember this is also the same team that drafted Ray Guy in the 70s in the first round.
Yep, that's what they compared it to. 2003, my Minnesota Vikings passed on their pick not once, but twice.
And yet still got the guy they were looking for.
Supposedly. The thing is, it doesn't matter. Every team has always drafted the guy they wanted.
They were on my board. Yeah, you got 300 people on your board. Of course they're on your board.
Yeah.
I want to say this is shocking. As a matter of fact, we brought that up on Thursday.
Yeah,
about Minnesota passing on their pick twice. 2, because it's just it's crazy, and the fact is that the 2 teams behind them had the wherewithal to run up to the podium to get it done.
Yep, exactly.
I'm waiting for the Eli Manning trade. I'm waiting for it.
Oh, I didn't put that one on there, but I did put a trade on there.
Or
2018, the Buffalo Bills trade up not once but twice to get Josh Allen.
Yeah, 4 because that's just the way they were at that point. That wasn't much of a shock. It was a fact because I didn't know shocked that he was still there.
And the number 1 for me and for you, actually, 1999, the Ricky Williams trade.
Oh my God!
Trades everything for Ricky Williams.
That was crazy. There's one more that I can't. There's one that I keep thinking. I can't for the life of me remember it. I can't. Yeah. It was because there was a whole list, and I think I saw it on a YouTube video where they did all that, and it was a shock that they did.
Some other ones here from Bleacher Report that I had: 73, Ray Guy drafted in the first round. 2000, that was a kicker again. 83, false rumors drops Dan Marino stock.
That was huge. That one hurt a lot of Dan Marino pocketbook.
86, Buffalo or the Bucks fumble on bag on
Bo Jackson.
Yep.
That was the one. If they hadn't said something, he'd have gone to Tampa.
Yep. 92, Denver Broncos 10 false hairs in mocks.
Who?
Tommy
Harris, the defensive tackle out of Nebraska or something?
Maddox, Maddox.
Mike Maddox. Tommy Maddox from Denver.
Yeah, Tommy Maddox, yep.
Yeah, he went to Denver. He was supposed to be the heir apparent because Kubiak had retired and then they brought in Maddox.
He was supposed to be always heir apparent. Yep. Got that one already. The Ricky Williams trade. The
It was
Vikings.
it was the Bo Jackson one that I was thinking going.
Yeah. Buffalo reaches
had-
McGee
Who?
in 2003.
McGahee?
Yeah, McGahee. Yep.
The bigger shock was the fact is that Denver drafted Maurice Clarett, even though he wasn't eligible to be drafted.
Yeah. 2005, Aaron Rodgers' first round fall.
That was a huge. That one to me, still think that's still bigger than Shedeur Sanders dropping out into the 5th round, but because he was the guy who was being talked as being the first pick in the draft.
Yeah. Also in 2005, Clarett sues NFL draft in 3rd round.
That one.
Yeah. Mario Williams goes first overall over Bush and Young.
I'll be honest, that one was huge. I thought that one. I think when I watched it, I was in absolute shock. Going,
I think a lot of people.
Texans came out like 2 days before saying we're not taking Reggie Bush, we're taking Mario Williams. I'm going, oh, I'm going to need to be drafted, and I ended up buying a smoke show worth of Mario Williams autographed rookie cards, and they went to shit in a hurry.
2009, the Raiders make Hayward Bay their first wide receiver off the board.
How about Detroit? How about Detroit drafting wide receivers in 4 consecutive first picks of their first round?
Yep. Tim Tebow, Broncos trade up to take Tim Tebow in the 1st round.
That was huge because I thought he was a second day at the earliest a second day talent.
Yeah. 2012, the Browns tab 28-year-old Whedon in the 1st round.
That was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Did you know in this year's draft, this was the first time in NFL draft history that 2 tight ends got drafted in the first half of the draft? First half of the 1st round in the draft.
2020, Packers take Love in the 1st round with Rodgers in tow.
That didn't shock me too much because I remember. I'll be honest. I remember that draft because I was sitting there going, I'm texting Ryan and going, this is like the year after Luck had retired.
Yeah.
And we still had at that time, I think we still had Frank Gore at the time. And I'm texting my brother and I'm going, dude, we'll trade you Jonathan Taylor for Jordan Love because we need the quarterback. You need the running back. He's like, are you crazy? Jordan Love's going to be a superstar. He's like, Jordan, you want Jonathan Taylor because he's going to be a superstar. I said that kid's proved me wrong, mind you. Yeah. That he's got fumbling problems, and I'm like, I think he's fumbled like 3 times in his career so far.
And the final one, 2024, last year, the Atlanta Falcons draft Penix just after paying Kirk Cousins.
That was so stupid. That was, to me, still to this day was probably one of the stupidest things I've ever seen in a trade.
Yeah. Well, and honestly, we watched the draft. If you watched our coverage of it, you saw the 1st round. I got to give a props to I can't think of the kid's name now that got drafted late, was in the green room. And the Packers took him. And
Golden.
Yeah.
Michael Golden.
Hometown kid, stuck it out. Probably the only one in that green room except the people cleaning.
No, they still had Will Johnson. Will Johnson was still in the room at the time because Will Johnson had come and he was expected to go 1st round and he doesn't go till what? Early mid 2nd round.
Yeah. But that's the thing, to stick it out in the green room, maybe because it was his hometown.
Is he from Green Bay?
He's from that area. Yeah, they made a thing that he was a hometown pick or something like that. So
I thought it was because his last name was Golden.
Yeah.
You know how hard it was me for not to say anything about showers?
Yeah. So, well, that being said, Tim, final thoughts.
Yeah, this I like this. If anybody's got any actors that they want to see us try to destroy your hopes on what we think their top 5 movies are, please let us know because we're all about breaking people's hearts. If you watched last year's draft, how much I broke Will Levis's heart. He dropped all the way out of the 1st round, and I think this year was Shedeur Sanders, and I didn't realize that my reach was that all encompassing when he gets a phone call from the defensive coordinator from Atlanta. Kid.
With that being said, keep checking us out. I know I got a Bears huddle coming up with Cody. Reaching out to him. I think that's today. I'm not positive.
Supposed to be yesterday. It was supposed to be yesterday.
As they get ready for their first season in the Arena League. Morning tailgate, or not morning tailgate, on deck with Chris B and James. Entertainment hour with Chris B and the repo man of C2C, Dragon Viper. And then you got Between the Ropes with Chrissy and Chris. I try to get on sometimes. Really wanted to get on to talk WrestleMania this past week, but I wasn't feeling the greatest. So, well, with that being said, you can check us out here starting next week. We'll be on Wednesdays or Thursdays because my days off had changed. So just keep checking us out. C2C will be back next week. Have a good one.